evening, everybody. My name is Fatjona Mejdini. My primarily work is Albanian correspondent for Balkan Insight. But 1 year ago, I have started a new experience, one other experience. So a small group of Albanian trainers held by American trainers, they have created 1 year ago in Tirana, Investigative Journalism Lab. The project was financed by US Embassy in Tirana, and the whole idea was to create a training and to create a website that is going to publish investigative articles. To tell the truth, as a trainer, as a mentor, for me it was a real challenge to participate in this program. In our course, we have very young journalists that they didn't have experience, and they didn't have enough experience even in writing a short news, and let alone to write about investigative stories. But we have some good guarantees. The guarantees were that we had some resources, journalists had some time, there was some good training, and what is the most important, the young journalists had all the freedom to write about the topics that they really care. So after some months, in the end, we had amazing stories published. A group of 13 journalists was able to produce around 20 stories, and there were stories starting from illegal way, how you can do an abortion in Tirana, and also about black market in the football, and also issues like oil quality in Albania, which is an issue that it was touched for the first time by the investigative lab. I can say that the project was a real success. We were distributed, and our articles were republished in other medias as well, and also we were republished in regional media. But what was most important, it was the fact that the people on Facebook and Twitter, they have started to share the stories, and it was like more than hundreds of times that the stories were shared. Working with young journalists is of course fun. But it was hard for me to understand that how difficult and how painful it is for young journalists nowadays in Albania to enter in the job markets. For all of you that you don't have a lot of information about the Albanian media landscape, I can tell that newspapers are almost disappearing. We have the role of television that is shrinking. And on the other hand, we have this digital media flourishing. But when I talk about flourishing, in Albania right now, we had 700 news portals. And you can imagine how much this is for a country of 2.8 million. What happened for a journalist right now in Albania that goes out of the school, all the odds are that he is going or she is going to be offered to work for these websites. And this might look like a good thing. But when we enter inside of these websites, we see that these are small enterprises. They have a maximum of 5 people. In some of the cases, they are not registered as enterprises at all. In some of the cases, they don't pay salaries, or they pay ridiculous salaries. You can get more working in a call center in Tirana than to work in this kind of websites. And what is, I think, most disturbing thing is that the journalists there are really encouraged to copy and paste and to write a clickbait headline. So instead for the journalists to go out in the field and report, they are just said to stay in front of the computer and go to the Facebook of the politicians and write articles about their statements. Or they also go to the Instagram and they write articles out of the captions of artists' pictures. So this is a really difficult situation for the youngster in Albania, young journalist. I remember that 12 years ago, when I have started this profession, I was offered a job in a newspaper. It was not the best newspaper, but of course it was a newspaper. We had like 20 people working. We had editors. I had people more experienced than me that I could go and ask some advice and make my article better. And what was most important, we had copy editors. You cannot believe that right now, in these websites, you don't have editor or even copy editor. And the journalists are let alone in front of their computer. So I think all the situation, it really makes hard for being a young journalist right now in Albania. this is not a surprise that most of them, they go and work in the call centers, or they will really be glad to work for some institute as a PR guys or for some companies. This is a really better career than being in these websites. So I just want to say that this year we are also glad that we have a new group of journalists for training and doing what we call real journalism. But I think that initiatives like this have to be more spread. And what is more important is that we could find a way, I don't know, it can be a way how these initiatives can be permanent. Because I believe that, especially for the young journalists, they really deserve a better welcome in this profession.